body bags were whore lies.
Who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead?
Hey guys, happy Thursday, this is your Fright Chick speaking. Okay, so this week's theme is Werewolf Week, and I have gone for the sequel to, like, my favourite movie of all time apart from Adam Green's Hatchet, Ginger Snaps Unleashed. Ginger Snaps 2, Ginger Snaps Unleashed, however you want to say it. This is the UK cover, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of fucking covers for this, so if you don't recognise it, it's probably got a different cover to you. But anyways, this is the 2004 movie, Ginger Snaps Unleashed. This is a direct sequel. I don't know why I said direct, but it is because it picks up pretty much, I think, like a few months after the events of the first movie. If you haven't seen the first movie, sorry, there will be spoilers in this, because how the hell am I going to talk about it carrying on from what happened in the first movie if I just, you know, don't give spoilers away. And if you did see the first movie and you thought, I wonder what happened after the last scene, what happened to Bridget and Ginger, I'm going to tell you. So anyways, we open with Bridget, who is now on her own, because obviously Ginger is dead in this movie, okay? It was pretty fucking obvious that she was dead when you saw Ginger Snaps, but she is dead. It didn't end well for her. She is now on her own. She's somewhere. That is Ginger, actually. That's not Bridget. But Ginger is actually in this movie. She appears to Bridget as an apparition, a ghost, whatever you want to call it, a figment of Bridget's imagination, whatever. She just kind of appears every now and again and taunts her, and, you know, basically says, you know you're going to turn to a werewolf, you know you're going to do this, you know you're going to want to kill him, that kind of stuff. Because obviously, if you did see the first one, if you didn't, sorry, I'm going to ruin it for you, Bridget was infected with the werewolf virus, or whatever you want to call it. So this whole movie is kind of documenting her transformation, because once again, if you saw the first movie, you know that they discovered monkshood, which was a poison. It was used, I think it was used in like dried flowers or something like that, I can't even remember. And she injects herself with it and it slows the transformation. We kind of thought this was going to be a cure in the first movie, but in this it is very, very obvious it is not a cure for werewolfism. And it just kind of slows the transformation down. So Bridget has been doing this for a while. I'm assuming it's around a few months, or it could even be a year, I don't know. And the movie opens literally in the first 5 minutes. She is in her apartment. She has realised that there is a male werewolf tracking her down because it wants to mate with her. She doesn't want to be a frigging werewolf, people. She just wants him to step off, or whatever the kids say these days. And he ain't doing that. He keeps tracking her down. She keeps moving, blah, 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 blah. She keeps trying to, like, document her cut. She cuts herself. She documents it to see how well the monkshood is still working and healing her cuts. Some guy comes to her apartment and he's like, oh, here's your books that you didn't get. And he gets taken out in 2 seconds by the male werewolf. Bridget, I think she just kind of collapses in the snow. I think she gets knocked unconscious or something. But anyway, she wakes up in this, what the hell do you call it? Like a sanatorium type place. Not an asylum, but a place that is like a hospital and kind of something else. It is full of junkie girls and people that have been severely injured, I think, something like that, because there is a burn victim there. She has got like a full fucking head to toe cast on her where she was just burned to fuck. Her granddaughter is there. Her name is Ghost. She is a major player in this movie. I'll get to her in a second. But Bridget basically wakes up there. They think she's a junkie because she's been injecting herself with what they do, like, they realise is a poison. They don't understand why the fuck she would want to inject herself with that. And it, like, not like the other girls who are just doing coke and heroin and stuff. They find this very unusual. They deem her to be a danger to herself and possibly others, so they keep her there against her will. And she's like, you're going to die if you keep me here, for obvious reasons that we know but they don't know, so we can let them off for that. We then meet a smattering of other characters who really don't mean much, but there is a group of girls. There's like a sex-starved one, I think, and then there's one who sniffs glue, and then there's one who does crack, and just like, they're just all really troubled girls. We also have Ghost, who is like about 11, I think. She is the granddaughter of Barbara, who is the burn victim. She kind of floats around the hospital because she doesn't really have anywhere else to go. She's kind of there watching over her recovery, and she just kind of gets picked on a lot by all the other girls. She's really into comic books and stuff like that, and superheroes and whatnot. So anyway, Bridget kind of tries to integrate, but not really. She just has to stay there, and she's not happy about it. And then obviously she can't get her monkshood, so she starts having slight transformations, like her ears and her teeth and her eyes and stuff like that, and her cravings, obviously, which is where Ginger comes in, because Ginger appears to her and starts taunting her and being like, you're going to turn, you're going to be like me, yes, this is what happened to me, and this is what's happening to you, etc, etc. I also don't understand, I know it's a movie and it ain't real, but I don't understand why they would, if this was a real place, then they're really fucked up, because we have a couple of other characters that, why have you got a load of male, like young, hot, male orderlies in a ward full of girls, like teenage girls at that, who are almost all junkies, who are literally willing to do anything to get their drugs and get what they want, and you have like hot guys. So there's a little underlying storyline of the fact that the guys who work there are basically, you know, you want your drugs? Fine, fuck me, give me a blowjob, do something sexual, literally trading sexual favours for their stuff. And Bridget doesn't want to do that, so she's like, yeah, F you, go away. So yeah, it's literally the whole movie is watching Bridget deal with the fact that she is transforming. Everyone else around her is just kind of in the way. That's literally what it is. They're just there in the way, and she's kind of just doing her thing. Ghost gets involved because she just latches onto her, and she's all like, oh, I like you, and I know you've got a secret and all this kind of stuff. And she works out pretty quickly that she's going to be a werewolf and all that sort of stuff. Nobody else believes her. We get through most of the movie. I'm going to wrap this up now. We get through most of the movie, and then about half an hour before the end, they do manage to break out. I think they get one of the male orderlies. His name is Tyler. He helps them break out because he's like, I'll give you your monkshood because like you're kind of freaking me out, and I do kind of believe you-ish. And then they all go off to Grandma's house. And Bridget's transformation is really taking a turn at this point, and the monkshood is no longer working. I think we can all work out what happens, people. It all goes tits up. It goes completely fucking wrong. And the male werewolf tracks him down again. They try and set up traps to get him. Alice, the person who runs the sanatorium, I don't have a better word to call it, and she ends up tracking them down too. So there's kind of that thing where they have a showdown, where then people then believe the person that was telling them the crazy story, and then they get to witness the crazy story for themselves. That is what happens, okay? So it's literally Bridget in a friggin' sanatorium, asylum, hospital, whatever you want to call it, going through her transformation. There's a bunch of girls there that are literally there to get picked off and killed. She then has to escape because the male werewolf is after her. She takes Ghost along for the ride, who's very into it. She takes one of the male orderlies along. Alice tracks them down. They have a big showdown at the house. I won't give away the ending, because the ending was very, very weird. It was not a good enough ending, because it just didn't answer a lot of questions, and it left it on the same note that the first one did. And I'm going to shut up now. But I will say, it's good if you wanted to know what happened to them after the first one. And it's not a bad watch. It's just maybe not the sequel I was hoping for. There is a third one, obviously. There is it's called Ginger Snaps Back. I don't know why they called it that. I can only assume because it goes back in time. I'm not going to talk about it, but yeah, this is a prequel. It is basically the exact same plot as the first one, except it was set in like fucking 1800 and something, in some fort place. You know, like, I don't know, like the Canadian Rockies when they had forts and things. I don't know. I don't know your history, but yeah, and it sucked. So yeah, if you're looking at these two, get this one, maybe give this one a miss. Okay, I will see you guys next week. Bye!